Hello guys, welcome back again to another Blu-ray Mediabook update. A nice way to end this working week on. Got 5 things to give you a look at today. The first 3 are from the Nameless label, who are a German company. They put out some really cool looking Mediabook editions, and the first 3 will be from those guys. And the first of which will be one of my favourite 90s horrors, and that is called Sleepwalkers from 1992. Written by Stephen King. This is a great film. I overlooked this one for so many years, not thinking it would be something for me, but I picked it up on DVD cheaply a couple of years ago to give a chance, and I was thoroughly entertained. It was a lot better than I expected it to be, and I had a really good time with this one. And basically it's about an incestuous mother and son team. They are shapeshifters. They morph into feline type creatures, and they just wander from town to town, feasting on virgin blood. And there are some pretty gory moments I have in this one as well. It's pretty gruesome in places, some good old practical effects work, but as you get those rather unconvincing, cheap 90s effects at some points in the film, but still it's all good fun. And there's a good bunch of cameos to look out for from famous horror directors like Tobe Hooper, John Landis, and even Clive Barker. So they're fun to spot their appearances throughout the duration of the film, albeit very briefly. And you also get Ron Perlman in a supporting role, and a gorgeous cover to adorn the Mediabook as well. There are 3 different variants to choose from. This one's cover B. It's just absolutely gorgeous, newly produced bit of artwork for this Mediabook. Gorgeous. And unfortunately no Blu-ray for the UK yet, just a DVD, an very old DVD. But it's worth seeking out if you've overlooked this one yourselves and you're a bit more curious about it now. So you can usually find it cheaply in places like CEX used or Amazon Marketplace. There's the back there once again, nicely drawn, designed artwork. There's your limited edition number there, 555 copies of this cover. And yeah, very lacking in the extras department though. You just get a trailer here. I believe this one was put out by Screen Factory not too long ago with a nice snazzy looking slipcover, and I would imagine a bit more substantial array of extras to go through. Let's give you a quick look inside then. There's the old classic artwork there. There's a Blu-ray disc. And there's your DVD. And you get about 20 pages within. There you go. Does have some grisly moments. There's the cameos there, John Landis among them. Whoop, there they are, the mother and son. It doesn't shy away from showing their intimate relationship. There you go, brilliant stuff. Sleepwalkers, 1992. Right, next up we have 2008's Punisher Warzone. This was a great little film. This is the 3rd movie adaptation of the Marvel comic. Probably the bloodiest of the 3 as well. This one feels more like a comic book. It's got those over-the-top type characters, the over-the-top comic book style violence, and like I said, it is pretty gruesome in places for an action film, and it does rely mostly on practical effects work. The odd bit of CGI here and there, but it's good old school practical stuff. And I think Ray Stevenson as Frank Castle did a really good job. Even though I prefer the Tom Jane Punisher movie, I think Ray has a more intimidating screen presence. He carries the part well, very good. There you go, the main villain of the piece there. And this is once again lovely Mediabook release from Nameless. There are 4 different covers available. I think this one's cover B. B or C. And once again, this one was limited to 666 copies, this one. Yeah. And this is just a repack of the already available unrated disc, so you get the movie uncut, with all the gruesome stuff included, and all the special features. There you go, down there. Commentary, making of, training camp, all that good stuff. And this is highly recommended if you haven't seen this one already. Let's give you a quick look on the inside. There you go, very cool, very nicely done. I do need to check out that Netflix series, even though I'm not on Netflix yet. I'm hoping they'll release it on Blu-ray at some point for the Punisher collection, because I have heard some good things about that one. So there you have it, that is Punisher Warzone. I've also got the nameless Mediabook release of the 2004 Punisher movie to accommodate it on the shelf, accompany it on the shelf, sorry. They make a pretty awesome twosome there. And I've also got a nice little Mediabook release of the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie as well, which contains about 3 different cuts of the film. That's pretty nice. So a nice trio of Punisher movies there. Like I say, I would like the Netflix series on Blu-ray at some point. But there you have it, that was the Punisher Warzone 2008. Okay, and the last of the nameless Mediabooks is this one, Malone from 1987, a bit of Burt Reynolds, just my second Burt Reynolds movie in the collection after the Deliverance, I believe it is. And yeah, I haven't seen this one. I found this one for a very good price considering it was a new release, brand new and sealed. But I was stung upon opening this. I'll get onto that in a minute. But on the surface, it looks, wow, once again a gorgeous looking cover. Newly produced for this release from the artist Enzo Schiotti. I've mentioned him before. He does some excellent pieces of artwork for German Mediabook labels, and they look so good on the front of these Mediabook covers. This one has like a 70s Euro crime thriller type vibe about it, from the 70s, like an Italian style, Italian flavour to it. But like I say, this movie's from 1987, and I don't know too much about it, but I'm willing to give it a chance. Anything from the 80s, if it's either an action movie or a horror movie, I'm up for it. There's the spine. Nothing in the way of special features here, I don't think, just a trailer. And I think this one was cover B. Once again, there are 3 different cover variants. This one limited to 444 copies. Yeah, extras, just a trailer. That's alright. So yeah, I told you I got this one brand new and sealed, but upon opening it, I was yeah, greeted with this hideous sight. This is pretty shocking to see for a Mediabook collector. The booklet come loose of its binding, and when I first opened it, it just launched itself out at me. It come loose from the center there, and yeah, it's quite spectacular when it happened. Shame I didn't catch it live on camera, but yeah, that's alright. I'll try and stick this one in with a bit of glue or something, because it's in a pretty sorry state at the moment. But that's okay. Here's the booklet anyway for you. About 24 pages. Briefly looking over this one on IMDb, it's got mediocre feedback, but enjoyable in some places. Cynthia Gibb. Recognise that guy, I forgot his name. So we'll see how this one turns out. And there's your Blu-ray and your DVD disc. And a booklet, throw that one back in there. So there you go, that is Malone from 1987. Right, moving on. We have the Uninvited, a bit of craptastic fun from 1987. This one is really enjoyable, but it definitely falls into the realms of so bad it's good. It's one of those type things. It's about a genetically engineered cat that finds its way onto this little cruise liner here, or a little cruise ship, which is owned by some sort of criminal mastermind or something along those lines. But this cat has got some sort of internal creature that launches itself out of its mouth and attacks people viciously, and does make for some bloody moments. Actually, it's quite bloody in places, but it's also hilariously bad with the effects work at some points. And yeah, it's a good one to have a laugh with. You've got George Kennedy in this one, bizarrely. But yeah, I already had the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray of this one. But I saw this Mediabook in a fellow YouTuber, 80s film fan. He picked this one up, and I had no idea it was a lenticular fronted Mediabook, and I don't have one of those in the collection yet. So while it was still available and reasonably priced on Amazon, I thought I'd snap this one up. And yeah, love that. It really works well, this one. It's really cool. It's on the CMV Laservision label, and still available on Amazon if you're interested. It was limited to 500 copies. This one's cover A, and it looks to carry over most of the special features from the Vinegar Syndrome release, and I think that Blu-ray was region A locked. This one's region B, so if you missed out on that Vinegar Syndrome release, this was a good alternative to go for. So there you go. Really enjoyed this one. There's the Blu-ray disc. There's the Killer Moggy. It's just a mad little film, this one. There's the DVD. And it's got a bit of sleaze appeal about it. You get two women who are usually scantily clad throughout. There he is, George Kennedy. So there you go, Killer Moggy film in the Uninvited, 1987. Right, and lastly up for this update, we have, no, I think the Uninvited from 1988 actually, sorry about that, if you're fussy about years of production. This one's from 1987, this is Extreme Prejudice, a good hard-hitting Walter Hill movie, action film, which I've never seen uncut. I remember watching this one back in the day on Channel 5, where the movie would start at 9 o'clock, and during that first hour, all the offensive material was cut, so all the bad language and violence was edited. But once you get the 10 o'clock watershed, it just unleashed all the violence and the swearing and all that. And I had it taped on VHS, and that's how I'd watch it. But I've never seen it uncut, like I said. I never got around to getting the DVD of it. But it's a really good film. A bit of a slow burn at times, but it does deliver. You've got Nick Nolte in this one, and Powers Booth, who's a great actor. He always makes for a good villain. I watched him recently in Van Damme's Sudden Death. He's good in that one, if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, this is the new Blu-ray Mediabook release from Koch Films. It's a bit of a size comparison. It's a bit smaller than your usual Mediabook, but it still looks pretty cool. Love the artwork in this one, and I think this one's from an old poster. I don't think this is newly done. There's the back of the J card. You do get some a small amount of extra features on here. There you go, a making of, an interview with the director, and a 24-page booklet. And I know there's a couple of guys who have been looking forward to this release on YouTube. Eastwood for Life fan, I believe he's getting his hands on this one. And there's two cover variants. This one's cover A, and the much more eye-catching of the two, I must say. Look at that. Looks fantastic, and I'm glad that it was provided with a Get J card, because the artwork wraps its way round onto the back. Beautiful. There's your Blu-ray disc. Really good stuff. Looking forward to revisiting this one. That's Maria Conchita Alonso. DVD. I think, there you go. Awesome bad guy Powers Booth. And this is a good, gritty, violent little film, this one. Mostly text in this, as usual with Koch Films. They don't usually put too much in the way of photographic stills or promotional material. A lot of text there, which will all be in German. So there you go, guys. That is Extreme Prejudice from 1987. And that's your lot for this update, guys. As always, thank you much for tuning in and watching and commenting and all the new subs. Much appreciated, guys. You have a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.